What's up, guys? Welcome to the 7th episode of the Film Informer podcast. I am here with the co-host, Jordan. Jordan, how you doing?
What's up? I am doing good, Josh.
Yeah?
I'm doing good. Oh, yeah, we saw a good movie.
We did.
I know we're kind of late on the party. It's been out for like 2 weeks.
2 weeks? That's okay. Screw it.
Oh, yeah, no, screw it. No, yeah, but it was worth the wait. But I am doing good. I am here instead of watching my decrepit Saints play the Broncos and probably get their ass beaten by their old head coach. So
yeah.
Sean Payton have a ball with that. But,
this week I've been still watching Shogun. I know we brought that up last week. I'm not finished with it because of video games. If we're being honest, I've sidetracked a little bit. Metaphor came out from Atlas.
Metaphor.
We're
Atlas fans. So.
That has had some of my time. Great. Basically, it's a video game and anime put in together, and it's core. If you love anime and you love video games, you must play.
Oh yeah.
But for most of you, probably have no clue, and that's okay. That's all right.
What's an anime?
But this week we decided not to see a new release for a couple of reasons, but mainly because Wild Robot has had insanely good reviews and feedback.
Word of mouth has been outstanding for this thing. It is like a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, and almost everybody on my Letterboxd gave it at least like 3.5 or and above, and that's hard to do. So, but no, it looked great, and I heard great things, and I'm glad it lived up. It lived up to this really, really solid year of animation. So far.
Crazy year for animation, I'll be honest. And I am not a huge animation person. Like, if I'm being completely honest, I have not seen a ton of new anime releases over the past years. I think this year I've already seen the most with having just seen Transformers 1. I haven't even seen Inside Out 2 yet, but
the best one.
You brought Inside Out 2 is definitely I'm sorry, Caitlin, I meant to bring you. I apologize.
It's great.
We will watch it before the end of the year, and I'll have a review out. But you brought Wild Robot to my attention.
I did.
Completely honest. Yeah. And I was excited. Like, just the reviews and the cast, which is incredible.
Look great.
DreamWorks, I've heard it's like one of the best, if not the best, DreamWorks movie, which I know we'll talk about that. I'm not sure if I'm quite there.
Me neither.
But first impressions on the movie, Jordan, why don't you take us off? How did you feel? We just saw the movie, so how do you feel about it?
So, having a few hours of seeing it, really enjoyed it. I think this movie is absolutely adorable. I think the cast does a great job. It didn't hit me. I think the same for you. It didn't hit me emotionally as I thought it was going to, and as other like reviews have said, like has made them cry. Didn't make me cry. Didn't almost make me cry, but
I think this is a film again that just to tack off what you said there, I think it caters towards parents in its message and its themes.
For sure.
And as neither of us are parents yet, we are to furry animals, but not to children.
No.
Which I definitely think is it's gonna resonate with parents, I think.
I think so
very
too.
much so.
I think so too. And just because like I didn't like cry like you, it still has a lot of emotion in it. It just didn't hit me personally. But I thought the movie had a good pace. I think it's kind of like a tale of two halves, and we'll get into that. I think the first half is great, and then I think the back half is kind of what like drops it from not being my favorite animated movie of the year so far.
Yeah.
But still, really enjoyed it. Really good. I would watch it again. It was hilarious. A bunch of great one-liners coming from the voice cast. Matt Berry.
Matt freaking Berry.
Matt Berry, Laszlo from the funniest show on television, What We Do in the Shadows. And
get a really surprise appearance for us. Neither of us knew he was in the film. And when we heard him just briefly in the background, we were both like, holy shit.
It's fucking Matt fucking Berry.
Matt Berry.
As soon as you hear he's not even on screen yet. You don't even know. All you hear is, who broke my dam?
Yeah.
And then like you were like, oh, Matt Berry as a beaver. I didn't know I needed it.
If you don't know who Matt Berry is, look him up. Look up a clip. He has the most distinct voice. And it's fantastic.
It is fantastic, and he also plays himself like every single time he's on screen in anything he's in, but it doesn't matter because it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's great every time.
And just to kind of touch on the full cast here, in case you guys don't know who's in this or who's voicing these actors, but first off, Pedro Pascal, our boy.
Our boy who's in everything nowadays.
Our boy. He is second main character to...
oh, yeah.
How does he pronounce her name correctly? I always butcher it.
Lupita Nyong.
Thank you.
Yes.
Who was amazing. It's honestly hard to really judge her performance because it's kind of funneled through this robotic tuning.
That's not supposed to have any like emotions and stuff.
So it's hard to know what's really her and what's the synthetic aspect of it. But I will say the voice and the character, it was very much brought to life. Whether it, if it was a 50-50 job with her and the sound engineers, it really worked.
The result was great.
What we hear is fantastic.
She comes off very motherly.
And then Ving Rhames is Thunderbolt. I know we thought it was Paperboy, who is Transformers 1. Can't remember his name.
Brandon
right
T. Lowry.
Yeah. But no, that was actually Ving. And then Mark Hamill shows up. Catherine O'Hara, probably top 3 for me. Honestly, she's just so freaking good. I need to go watch it. We both need to go watch Schitt's Creek.
We surely do.
Like with the amount we love Catherine O'Hara. And yeah, those are pretty much the big names, which we have a lot of fun with them.
What did you think about it? Did you like it more than me a little bit, or
I really honestly I loved the first half. Like I did too. Really, really enjoying the movie. And then like you said, I wasn't as huge fan of the second half. I think it kind of fell off for me. We don't want to get into exactly that right now, but in our full spoiler review, we will break down more of exactly those feelings. But overall, thought it was really good.
Oh yeah,
thought it was really good.
Really
the animation, I mean, geez, the difference in animation quality from now to 10 years ago is insane. It's kind of freaking insane how gorgeous these films are. And off the bat, the first 10 minutes is like such a visual treat with just the way it introduces the whole world. And I thought it was gorgeous. And I think the whole movie was honestly just a visual treat.
On a technical aspect, it was almost flawless.
Yeah.
Like on every level. And to your point about the visuals in the first 10 minutes, it's pretty much just visual storytelling for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So that just adds to how they shot this movie. And it's not just the colors and everything that they use. It's the way the characters are not drawn, but they kind of look not hand-drawn, but fuzzy in a way. And I thought it, but in a good way. I'm not explaining it very well.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, the artwork was just really clean. I thought again, I'm not huge into animation, so I'm not good with technical styles and all that. I just thought it looked amazing. The colors were really vivid, and like neon-esque. Like the fire in the movie was like almost
purple.
Hot. Pink, purple,
Pink's a good.
And like the mossy greens, and I mean all the different animal furs and the texture on that, like I mean it all really, really worked, and the vision they had for that was it is definitely I definitely see this winning, or at least competing with Inside Out 2 for animation of the year.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh no, and probably competing for best animated picture. Of the year.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely recommend seeing it, guys. It has been out. You may have already seen it, but if you haven't, definitely worth checking out, especially with the family. Again, this DreamWorks does a fantastic job, I think, of bringing the family together to give you an awesome experience. And just, this movie's going to resonate with parents. And I think it's ultimately made for parents, but the kids are going to enjoy it. There's a ton of huge laughs. I mean, we were, especially in the first half of the film,
laughing the whole time,
laughing our ass
straight
off.
up. Oh yeah,
a bunch of big laughs from this script, and it's great work. Chris Sanders, GG's.
GG's,
all of
man.
them. Yeah,
go see it if you haven't yet.
Yeah, so guys, we are going to be jumping into a full spoiler review here. We're going to break down basically the entire movie, which is kind of what we do in the podcast, just to help us better understand the story and to kind of walk through it together, hand by hand, scene by scene. And if you want to stay for that, guys. If not, thank y'all so much for listening, and definitely check out the last few weeks, guys. Last week we did Saturday Night,
which was great,
which was another great movie. Before that we did Megalopolis, which was
the conversation was great.
Great.
The movie itself was, let's be honest, you haven't seen it.
And then we did Transformers 1, and then a bunch of kind of movies, Beetlejuice.
You can start from Transformers 1. No, we're proud of our earlier episodes, but it took if this is your first, we did The Crow, Afraid. We just did a lot of shitty movies before we got to the good stuff.
Real about it.
Oh yeah,
we're starting to get to the good stuff,
and it's getting more fun to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, so Wild Robot opens up with basically this robot just falling out of the sky, right? As we kind of already said, it just kind of throws you into this forest. You know, there's no besides the robot, there's no like characters, there's no dialogue is what I'm saying, right? The robot's speaking, but nobody's speaking back.
No.
Nobody's speaking back. It's almost like the robot does not understand the language of the animals just yet.
It's just her reacting to the world she's waking up in for like 10 minutes, the first 10 minutes, which goes to your point about the visual storytelling and stuff.
Yeah.
That we talked about in the,
I know you you audibly remarked to when, well, we're going to start off with her full name. Her name's Roz,
Right.
Rozum, Rozzum, but we're going to call her Roz. Roz imitates a crab in the first like few minutes of the movie to climb up a rock wall escape a big ass wave that's going to ultimately destroy this robot and everything in its path. And that, it was just off the bat. It was like, okay, that was cool.
Oh yeah, what I said, because I think I said,
I don't remember.
I think I said like, that's adorable.
Yeah,
because just a robot like perfectly mimicking a crab. That's just, I mean,
just a learning, adapting to its surroundings, almost like as if Roz at the start was the baby, you know, and it was like a newborn. It was born, it just became awake, and this is its world now, and it's not a really friendly world off the bat.
No,
which we learned because after they climb this mountain, she grabs the crab, and the crab is snatched up by a bird, just like bam, you know.
And you hear the crab, hear the crab like, like you hear it scream. I'm like, oh my god,
I got dinner, let's go.
Like, this movie is crazy. And then there's another death joke later, and then we're like, all right, well, this movie is
it's a cruel world of survival off the bat, and Roz is here just trying to find someone to serve, because that's ultimately, this is a servant robot, right? It's literally looking around like, what can I do? Like, what's my purpose here? I have no identity. I don't belong here. And then after kind of being tossed around by the outside world for a second, it like goes into its activate learning mode, right? Where it kind of seems like that's when she learns the language of the animals. Yeah, because after that point, you can start to hear the voices of the other animals. So yeah, that's the first. I'd say that's about the first 10 minutes, right? It kind of throws you in there. So I mean, I guess we already kind of talked about how we enjoyed the beginning. So I don't know if you have anything else you want to add to the start of the film here, Jay. But
no, I was just really impressed with the opening alone. I was like, okay, I'm in. Yeah, like I am hooked in already. So there was no like slow build up like Transformers 1.
I was like, yeah, I see why people are raving about this movie.
Oh, for sure,
right, very evident. Again, we just discovered Matt Berry was in the film. Another high for us in the first 20 minutes.
Also, Pedro Pascal's Fink, his Fink fox.
Yeah, he's the fox named Fink.
I thought he was adorable off rip. He was so cute. I was like, look, Pedro Pascal is a fox.
I know, dude. Pedro, you're so goddamn cute,
man. You're so goddamn cute no matter what you do, man.
Dude. Yeah, so there's kind of, I guess there's a first emotional beat. The first emotional beat here where Rose is like, did anyone order me? Like what, like, you know, really facing the question, like, am I supposed to be here? And then ultimately determines, no, I'm not supposed to be here. So she's going to return to sender, which is, there's this thing on her head that she presses, and it's like a beacon, and it's supposed to get picked up. But a bear attacks during the situation. There's the kind of one of many chase combat scenes. There's a bunch of those in this movie, honestly, like running through the forest, peril. And she ends up destroying a whole frickin' nest, killing the bird, killing all the eggs but one. It was like that to me, like I was like, oh shit, like this got serious really quick.
It did.
Like and it shows you this because she just picks up the dead bird. Like it's very, like there's no
oh, that's true,
there's no like filter there. It's really raw.
Dude, I didn't remember that until you just said it, but as you were saying it, I'm like, oh, she did pick the bird up.
Yeah, because it only shows you the wing.
But
and
still,
it's from the other side. Like you're looking at Roz, and she's picking, and you can tell she knows what just happened.
Dude, they showed us Bright Bill's mom dead. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't think about that until like this conversation right now.
Yeah, so this little egg eventually becomes Bright Bill, who is the our little
adorable little goose.
Our little gooseling. Yeah, he's a cutie. I wrote in my notes that raccoons are some bitches. because the raccoons were trying to fuck with Roz at this point of the film, and they were pretty rough, man.
Oh man, raccoons really just be evil in these animated movies, bro.
So before the egg hatches, we finally meet Fink, who is the fox. He tries to steal the egg from Roz. There's another kind of chase scene through the again, another one of many where they chase through the woods, and again, these are really well done scenes, like the long takes, of them being of the chases and stuff, and just all the visual just craziness. I mean, there's so much detail going on the screen during these quick scenes. It's just like, oh my gosh, so much to take in.
So much to take in, and almost every single scene. Like, there's only like one scene that I would like kind of take out of the movie, but every other scene.
Really? Okay. Let me know when we get there.
I will.
Yeah.
I will.
But yeah, the egg pretty quickly becomes
Bill.
Becomes
very,
Bill.
very quickly.
Yeah.
It starts to break, and then she tries to like keep it from breaking, which was really funny, and then it just ends up breaking.
And I didn't know what this movie was really about, if I'm being honest. I think I might have seen the trailer once, and I did not really remember it. So I did not know this was going to be like the story of parenting. Like, I had no clue that that's where this was going. So when it got here, and basically, the goose imprints, which is when the first thing they see becomes their mom. If it's a human, you can have like domestic goose and stuff like that, or geese, whatever.
Don't tempt me.
But to introduce this parenting theme of the film, we're introduced to Catherine O'Hara's possum, which I freaking love to see.
I did too.
This is probably the funniest scene of the movie.
Funniest? Yeah, I'd probably say so.
I think so. We meet this possum and all of her little possum babies, and the possum are so familiar and just comfortable with death. They just like all talking about death. Like they play dead, and they all have like different, like they all think of different ways to die while they're playing dead. Thought that shit was adorable.
And they're like critiquing. They're critiquing each other's like death pose and whatever.
Yeah, like,
and then
yeah.
Catherine O'Hara just starts dropping like funny one-liners. It's just like, you don't need to like act dead or something. She says something like that.
Yeah, and then she's like, I'm a mother of 7 little possums, and then you hear like some fighting off screen, and she's like, six little possums. And then later, that little one comes running back and is like, Mom, I'm not dead. And she's like, oh,
yay.
Yeah. That was freaking great.
It was fucking great.
Catherine O'Hara once strikes again.
Might
Fantastic.
be one of the funniest women like in Hollywood. Every time I see her, dude, like, and I'm sure when we eventually watch Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, it makes like we didn't know till the credits that it was her. So that was just phenomenally well done. So the possum mom, she's a gangster. She's pretty much teaching Roz that she now has a little baby. So Roz is basically trying to pawn off this little gosling because it's not able to give her an order, which is ultimately what Roz wants.
She wants to be told what to do.
She wants to be told what to do. That is how she's programmed. And gangster possum mom gives her that task. You have to take care of this little baby
because the little baby said so.
Yeah,
and it's too late now. By the way, gangster possum mom, I wish that's that character's name now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I actually don't know what her name was.
It doesn't matter what her name is.
No,
it's gangster.
She's a gangster.
She's a gangster.
She was awesome. So the Fox character, Fink, Pedro, love him, returns to basically help Roz raise this baby, and in turn, because it's a sly fox, it's really,
of course,
making Roz serve him.
Because all foxes have to be like sneaky.
Yeah, he's sly, he's conniving, and he's getting great food, which I thought it was really funny. Like he has her like boil clams, and then like the baby hasn't eaten anything, and he's like, oh yeah, and he just like scratches the ground, like a bunch of worms pop out. And it's like, that's all you had to do. Like you just had to get some worms. And she's over here boiling clams with the dude.
Oh, dude, that was like a 2-minute sequence of him getting food, like honey.
Yeah, he got so fat by the end of the episode.
He did, or the scene.
Yeah, or the scene.
Mini episode.
Yeah, basically. And there's a little great exchange between Fink and Roz is basically coming to terms with why it's now having to care for this baby, and it just blurts out Like, oh, because I killed its mom and its whole family. And Fink is like, you're not supposed to mention that. Like, don't ever mention that.
Oh, no,
and
that
it
was
kind
bad.
of like, she's like, oh, affirmative. Do not mention dead family. Got it. That shit made me laugh. I had to write that down.
No, yeah, that made me laugh too.
And then Fink also, there was a bunch of great quotes, honestly. And this is really when the bond between Fink and Roz comes together. So naturally, this was an important scene. And honestly, I have the most quotes from this scene here. I want to keep saying episode for some reason, but
I wonder if it's the scene I'm thinking about.
And again, another great line. Fink says, he's like, well, I could just eat the baby and you don't have to deal with it. Because it's kind of stressing Roz out that she has to deal with the baby. And she's like, negative. Eating this task is not the same as completing this task. And I was like, that's another good line. I don't know.
Bar.
I liked it, yeah. And then to basically end this scene, which ultimately transforms into a time skip to where the baby has grown up. But to end this scene, we kind of learn more about Fink's backstory. And they're talking about love. He's explaining what love is to Roz because it's a foreign concept to this robot. And she's like, wow, you seem to know a lot about this. And he's like, well, when you grow up without something, you spend a lot of time thinking about it.
Which was my favorite line of the movie.
I think that is a fantastic line.
It is a fantastic line that can hit multiple people, like different forms of people.
I think for me and you, that is probably the most emotional connection or the most resonant in the film
was Fink.
Fink's
Absolutely.
character in that moment specifically.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And Fink's relationship with the robot as a friend.
Right.
You know?
And we only scratched the surface on Fink's backstory, but I think the movie is brilliant for it because by the end of it, I'm like, oh, that's all you really needed to know. His stance on friendship and love, really. And I thought we were going to get more of it, but by the end, I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad we got what we got with him.
Because he's pretty much the sly fox who deep down really cares, but he has hard time showing it.
Hard time showing it. He was never shown it, and he just is like, I'm better on my own. Like I'm just better being closed off and stuff. And I think that's something a lot of people can relate to.
And I think that helps make the end of the movie work, which I don't want to skip to right now. But I do have some complaints with the end, which we're gonna get there.
Okay.
But I think that honestly, that conversation we just had helped me come to terms with why they went there in the story a little bit more. But again, don't want to skip too far ahead. So the little baby is given a name.
Gosling.
The little Gosling is given a name. Our little Ryan Gosling. His name is Bill or Bright Bill.
Bright Bill.
It makes me think of the movie Brightburn.
Me too.
I kept thinking of that throughout the movie. Yeah.
So little Bill's growing up, and it becomes really apparent that he is kind of like the ugly duckling. He's very different from all the other geese, not just because he makes robot sounds when moving his head at first, which I thought was freaking funny.
It was.
Like he goes, like just to talk to other people.
And he's like, the way he's moving, he's like, his wings and everything, he's all robotic.
It's robotic and it's adorable, and it's very much, it's so freaking natural and cute.
It is so cute. And then like in the water, he's just like, who taught you how to swim? And he's just like, I read the manual.
Yeah.
Or he says something like that.
Yeah, which he's struggling with swimming, obviously. And Roz and Fink, both of them now, kind of as parents, kind of as like a mom and dad couple, realize they're gonna have to help. They're gonna have to help train him to swim, but not only to swim, to fly, because winter's coming around the corner, and he's gonna have to learn to migrate. But not only does he have to learn to migrate, but he has to learn to integrate with the other geese, who kind of look at him as definitely an outsider, because he's been raised by this robot. And why was he raised by this robot? He does not know yet that Roz killed his family, because again, earlier she learned not to tell him that, and she never did.
And which kind of explodes in a very, I would say, probably what the films was trying, like the most emotional outburst of the two, the tension, most tension between the two characters.
I was like, about that scene.
Me too. No, I agree with you. Me too.
Okay, it was pretty much it
happened too fast.
That and the way it was presented, like it was the typical asshole high school geese.
Yeah,
it was way too rude for no freaking reason.
It was the same scene that we've seen 50,000 times in other things.
Yeah, and honestly, to an unfortunate T, because he was talking to a cute girl, and they were kind of hitting it off.
Yeah, it was
and
that
then
scene.
They come and they're like, "Oh, we're these dicks." And,
I almost said that in the theater, like when those 3 ducks, they were like circling around and they started laughing, and I'm like, in my head, I was like, "Oh, here we go."
Kind of reminded us, oh, we're watching a family movie.
Right, so you have to have...
Kids have to easily understand the conflict
Correct.
here.
And new... Our fish out of water can't have friends right away because we just can't have that.
So it kind of speaks to the first 30 minutes brilliance that we forgot we were watching a kids movie, and then we got here and it's like, oh, we're watching a kids movie.
Yeah.
There's going to be some of this bullshit, but it does what it does. It transports us to the next portion of the story, which is basically little Bill learning to adapt and kind of growing in that way. So yeah, do you have anything else you want to add to this? I think we kind of both feel the same way about this portion of the film.
No, I don't think so. I think this kind of like, I think talking over it makes me really like it's my least favorite part of the movie until later. But this actually starts, which is unfortunate because I think everything before he goes, like whenever the time skip initially happens, I think everything was adorable again. Like when it was just them 3.
And that might have been even to like 45 minutes in the movie. It's hard to. I was not checking my phone at all for the first decent portion. Maybe first
for a
full
good
act.
while I wasn't either.
I'd say if this is a 3-act film, the first act of the film, I checked my phone maybe about halfway through the film is when I first started checking the time.
And the 3rd act feels like it has like 4 mini acts.
Yeah, and 4 mini endings, which that was almost our first comment coming out of the theater was, first off, you thought it was much longer.
I did.
And I was like, I thought it was super short. Off the bat, I thought like maybe I liked it more than you because you kind of were a little exhausted from the film.
No, that was just for some reason my initial thoughts going in because I think it's because I thought it was going to end like 3 different times.
Yeah.
And it just kept going. And then so I guess we were about to get to it once, they have their big fight, Bill and Roz. They make up and he's able to fly.
She trains him to fly, which I kind of like that little training arc, if we're going to call it that.
I did too.
I thought it was adorable.
I did too.
How she built a road with rocks. I mean, she's a very futuristic robot. Again, this movie takes place definitely way in the future.
Dude.
We didn't really mention that.
Which is so cool. I think it takes place in the dystopian future too.
Oh yeah,
because there's a scene where the camera is like whenever they're flying, all the birds
when they're migrating, right? Just we're getting into pretty soon. Yeah.
Okay, I just there's a whole it looked like the Golden Gate Bridge underwater.
Honestly, I was thinking that was New Orleans just because it's so local to us because it's a city underwater and it's
that's
like
funny.
New Orleans will eventually sadly be underwater.
Probably so.
That's just how things happen, right?
Yeah.
The water rises. That's just
the water
life.
rises.
The water is rising, guys. In case you don't know, global warming is a thing.
Good out of New Orleans.
But yeah, no, I really liked that scene in particular as well, and it shows basically them flying over a lot of dead lands, like what was once civilization is now gone, and the humans are all kind of living in these. It looks like a cloud-like structure. It was very like hard to describe.
You know what came to my mind?
So far in the future.
Meet the Robinsons.
That's a great.
Well, I don't know.
Example.
Like as soon as like the camera goes on the city, I was just like, oh, dude, this is totally Meet the Robinsons.
Yeah,
I like that movie. So
yeah, that's a great example. And so I guess really all I have to say before, so that they train him to fly. There's this old goose named Longneck who we talked about earlier. He basically is the first one of the pack to kind of accept Bill, and he says a really cool thing, which is he explains to Roz that if it wasn't for you, he would be dead. Like he wouldn't be here still. Like you're the reason he's even here because he was the runt of the pack. Even if his mom was okay and she had all her eggs hatched, he probably wouldn't have made it. He wouldn't have been strong enough. So she basically accelerated his growth with her capabilities as a super futuristic robot, which I thought was kind of cool. Then it kind of quickly goes to them migrating, which I think this was the first of the 3 endings I'll say this movie had, which oddly enough, it's only like 70 minutes into the movie. And that's when I checked my phone. I was like, oh, we're only halfway through the film, but I feel like it's ending right here because basically everything so far has been leading up to this moment.
It has.
This is her task. Him flying away, literally the task says completed and she's free to return home in her mind. So I know both of us, we talked about this earlier. We both were like, where's the movie going now?
Right.
Because nothing else had been kind of built up.
So after talking about it, I think I know why I thought that it was longer than 140 is because like in my mind when that came, I was like, oh, this is kind of an anticlimactic ending. I was like, but it ends, and I was in my head, I was like, that was the fastest 90 minutes ever, or fastest 120 or
about 100 minutes.
About 100 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's just what I thought, and then it just kept going. Then it kept going some more, and then it kept going. I thought, like, okay, this is like a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, which, I mean, it is. It's like 140 something, I think. So
yeah, I mean, to be fair, probably without credits, it's probably like 132.
According to my notes, I only have like 4 more things written. So there wasn't a whole lot of substance, I think, to the last portion of the film.
No, I don't think so either.
Which is, for me, is why emotionally it doesn't hit during the climax of the film. But basically, they migrate. They end up landing in one of these Meet the Robinsons futuristic cities. They encounter a Roz, which is not Bill's mama.
Right, but this is the scene, not to cut you off, but this is the scene you mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
This is a scene where I was just like, even after thinking about it, talking about it, I'm thinking, you could have cut that whole scene.
I honestly am there with you.
That entire scene, you could have cut that. Like, I know it's like, well, Bill had to have his moment. Bill could have had his moments in a 5-minute, 2-minute scene. Mm-hmm. Or you could just not have the birds be a dick to Bill. Be it completely. You can have, like, that's the thing about, you can have it that they don't accept him.
I see where you're going with this. Yeah.
They don't accept him, but not be a completely unrealistic asshole at the same time. And they did both, unfortunately. So Bill had to have.
They had to have a hero moment where he becomes accepted by the crew. Yeah.
But that is like literally the only scene that exists.
I'm totally there with you. I think this movie could have been a gorgeous short film where we just got that first hour and he flies away and the movie ends. Like, honestly, I would have been cool with that. Probably, if they had stressed it more and they stretched it out and they weren't rushing through the beginning as much, I think they could have stretched that out easily to an hour 20 and made that a full film. But they wanted conflict. There was not enough conflict.
Correct. Yeah.
Previous to that. And this is a DreamWorks family film. Unfortunately, it reminds us that many times. And so it has to create this conflict. They end up getting in a fight with the Rozes there, which it's not the same model as Roz. It's another robot, but it has a gun and it's trying to kill him. And Longneck ends up getting shot.
R.I.P.
Saves Bill. Bill saves everyone by, I guess just because he was raised by Roz, he understood how she. I
didn't get that either.
When Longneck basically gives Bill the reins and he's like, Bill, have everyone follow you. You know how to do this. I was like, why? He was never being shot at by Roz.
Never shot at him.
Doesn't really make sense. Again, weak scene. I'm with you on that.
So when Longneck says that, when he says that line, like you've been raised by her, a robot or whatever. The death robots hadn't came in yet with the guns, so like that comes in literally right after that.
Uh-huh.
But so in my head I was like, oh, so he's gonna like talk to the robots, like he's gonna like I thought that they were setting up, instead of an action sequence, Bill like talking to the Rozes and adapting to their mother, whatever Roz has inside of her. That's what I thought they were going, but no.
And triggering their like mother complex.
Triggering their mother complex, but no, it just ends up as random.
It's a relatively quick
action
scene. Ultimately, it's a random quick action sequence, which leads into, even though I only gave this one sentence, I actually did like the scene where Roz helps all the other animals during the snowstorm.
I like that scene too.
And kind of brings them all together. I thought that was cute. I thought it was cool. I really ultimately enjoyed Roz as a character more than I enjoyed Bill as a little gosling dude.
Yeah.
At least when he was like a teenager, right? So yeah, Roz and Fink basically decide to help all the animals survive a really harsh winter. They all end up basically becoming a little forest commune. They're a bunch of little animal communists, living together, not killing each other, even though all the predator and prey are in the same room.
Oh yeah, you got the bear voiced
but
by Mark
that
Hamill.
is when I realized I really liked the personalities the film gave us. Matt Berry as a beaver, Catherine O'Hara as a possum, the bear, all the different little characters we were introduced to together. I was like, man, there's actually a lot of personality.
It was
in this room. All the little freaking baby possums. Those dudes are hilarious. Honestly, it had so many good little one-liners.
You know what that scene made me? Because it made me like, I agree with all that, even to the point where it made me wish that some of, and I get why, we'll get to the ending. I get why they went this way. I understand it's the story they were telling, but I would have much rather seen Roz interact with Bill and those personality of animals the entire movie.
Oh yeah,
I would have much rather than them having to fight off her home life in the third act. Like or whatever, they're her creators. I would have so much rather that.
Because the next conflict in the movie, basically the climax, following the first action sequence, is Roz is like the retrieval unit coming to get her and take her home, and she's immediately presented as this Disney villain. Obviously she's evil, but she sounds good. Like, it was so overdone, cheesy for me.
I didn't like
cliches as hell. I was not feeling that last act. Ultimately, overall, I'd say is the weakest part of the film.
It is,
and did not hit emotionally for either of us at all.
I thought the scene between Roz and Fink right before that is great, where Fink. When is it? Now I'm kind of forgetting where it takes place, but there's a scene where they're sitting on the cliff. Oh no! So this is where never mind. This is where Bill and them initially take off.
First takeoff.
Yeah, we didn't touch on that conversation, but
you're right. There's a great moment.
I love that conversation between Fink and
There's
Roz.
a great moment.
Fink and Roz are
basically Fink's like, you could have told him you loved him. Like you love him, so
right. And
she should have told him.
And she asks him well, how do you know like what love is if you love someone? And then he's just like, I wouldn't know. And then takes off.
Yeah, because ultimately, man, it sucks that we're talking about how we didn't like all this stuff with Bill, when really there's a great arc between Fink and Roz, and love being, the core of the theme of this film, right? And Fink basically a loveless fox who's not really been loved and seems like he was abandoned when he was a baby, teaching a robot who also doesn't know what love is, and both of them kind of discovering love together. as just friends. There's no like sort of
course
romantic elements to this film. Thankfully, did not need that at all. Would have been weird as fuck. There's a really great core theme that if they doubled down on, and they just accepted that we don't need conflict, but again, they had to cater to the kids and the family, and I think that was probably
you had to make sure those brains were like, no, wake up.
Yeah,
there's action. Wake up, wake up now. And it talking about it, dude. It makes me like, I love the Bill. Like, I really enjoyed the Bill character. I like him and Roz's relationship, and even though it didn't hit us, obviously, because we're not parents, but the Fink and Roz stuff really hit.
Yeah,
and I wish that honestly would have been the main focus. Actually, talking about it,
it's kind of 50-50 shared with
the story they were telling,
the themes, with the parent and Bill and all that. Yeah, no, I'm with you there. But yeah, really have only one sentence to finish the film, which is Bill returns. Same time, Roz collection unit comes to get her. She decides to stay. The rest of the forest animals defend their wild robot. There was nothing really to touch on because it's kind of just, it's an action sequence.
It is.
The forest gets lit on fire. They all team up to knock over the tree that Matt Berry's beaver has been working on throughout the movie. It's thankfully just happens to be right by a river, which splashes water on the forest. Yay.
I was like, well, that's lucky.
Everyone's saved. And then Roz ultimately sacrifices herself for she sees the burnt forest, and she's like, they're going to keep coming for me. I have to go home. So she goes back home, and then there's a sweet little scene where Bill goes, I'm guessing during the next migration, and finds her, and even though she had her memory wiped, she still remembers him, because there's the parent bond, of love, and the ultimate theme of the film.
And whatever she has inside here, that she says, they'll never take that away.
They can't take her heart away.
They can't take her heart away.
So yeah, man, overall, very great, very solid movie. I'm hesitant to say great. I'm kind of feeling like 3.5 on this.
That's exactly where I was thinking.
Which again, it's just really sad that last act tuned it down for us, because I know we were both feeling like 4, even higher at the start. Like we were both really, really into it.
Oh, for sure.
And it just, the quality declines throughout the film, but even there, really good. Definitely would recommend people seeing it.
Yeah.
I mean, again, one of the best animated movies of the year. For me, I'm holding this and Transformers 1 at the same level. I think I enjoyed both of them the same amount, but they're flipped because Transformers 1 has a much better second half and this has a much better first half.
That's true.
So they're kind of both in the same boat for me.
I kind of get that. Just opposite, one's the end, one's the beginning.
Yeah.
So this is I really enjoyed this movie, man. I really did. I think it's I'm with you. Like I said, about 3.5, and it's not even to say the last act is bad. It's just compared to what was before, it was clearly the weakest part.
Yeah.
Clearly the weakest part. And just from what they like, if they wanted to make it different, they could have, and not been
as cliche.
Not have been as cliche. But,
yeah.
It is what it is. This is going to be a lot of kids' favorite movie of the year. This is going to be rewatched a shit ton.
I think it deserves its place among the DreamWorks bangers, man. Because DreamWorks has been doing some fire movies. How to Train Your Dragon is, for me, a 4.5. If not, maybe even 5-star.
I'm about to say
for the first one.
Those first two?
Yeah, I love them. I think they're fantastic.
I love them. Those movies are phenomenal.
Very easily rewatched. And, I mean, Shrek, the list goes on. DreamWorks,
it is
definitely very reputable.
But since you brought DreamWorks up,
yeah,
this man needs to watch Puss in Boots. I've
never seen
it's so
Puss in Boots. That was during the period
bro.
where I was just like not doing animation at all.
No, I know.
Yeah.
None of y'all have seen it, like not a single one of my friends, and the movie's fantastic.
I know.
Like
it
is a banger.
One day it'll just happen to be streaming, and me and Caitlin will watch it, and I'm sure we'll freaking adore it.
Oh yeah,
because we're cat people. So,
ironically enough, you're about to cancel the service that it's on.
We're not canceling. That's bullshit, Jordan. No one's canceling services around here.
We're not canceling Netflix. All right, listen to me.
Yeah, come on now. So, what comes out next week?
Next week is, I don't even have to look at it. We have Conclave and Venom: The Last Dance.
Yes, we talked about this last episode. Correct, yeah. Conclave,
which looks really good, and it looks like it's going to be a contender for Best of the Year for sure. Especially Ray Fiennes looks like he's going to be going for that best lead actor role.
Okay,
from the trailers, that's what it seems like. I could be wrong, but that's the vibes I got.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to be talking about that movie, and looking forward to that.
You're not super pumped for Venom, bro?
No, not really.
no, not really.
I love Tom Hardy. I mean, damn, but no, I'm actually more excited to check out the romance that came out this week that we decided not to see.
Oh yeah,
I don't even know its name.
Andrew
though.
Garfield, Florence Pugh.
Yeah, I honestly I found out it was A24. And that made me.
Wow.
I believe it's A24. Now, if I could be misinformation
I
there,
know that.
But anytime A24 is attached, I'm like,
The Way I Live.
Yes. Title wise, I don't know. I don't actually know.
I think
but the poster's going to be up, and they'll get to make fun of us because we don't know the name. But yeah, and we were obviously really hyped about anything this week. Enough to where we were more hyped about seeing Wild Robot.
No,
I don't regret that.
Neither one of us cared to see Smile 2.
And Joker 2 is a movie.
We still haven't seen it.
It's almost like it's in a corner.
It's in a corner, and eventually when we take our hand out and like show it around, like we'll just be like.
Because I was like, we could go see Joker this week, but I did not want to review another potentially really bad movie.
No, and I'm pretty confident we are gonna like this. The Wild Robot, seeing how much we liked it, we're gonna
more than Joker.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I think you're right. But I do still think Joker 2 will provide some good conversation.
I do too,
because I've actually read good reviews, and they seem to think that people missed the whole point of the film. So I want to see what's going on there. I am interested.
No, that's why I said last week that like the people who like the movie like are passionately defending it.
Yeah.
Like, and they have a lot of reasons why they're defending it. It's just like the people who don't like it really don't like it.
Yeah.
But that's a polarizing movie for you, though.
Well, I for sure will be done Shogun by next week, so we're definitely going to take some time to talk Shogun. And then I'm not confident if I'll have gotten to catch up on Penguin, but I'll probably have at least started it. So we'll be able to finally have some talks about that because I already know I'm going to dig that.
I think you will.
I already know I'm going to dig it.
I think you
just gotta get there.
I don't know if you'll like it.
Not in a rush because I really enjoy Shogun.
I don't know if it'll be like one of your favorites of the year, like it is for me, but I think you'll really like it though.
Yeah,
really like it.
Well, I love Samurai, so I'm not sure if it's going to top Shogun
That's
for me
true.
because I love that feudal Japan period. But
the Japans.
But yeah, I do really like the crime dramas, and I actually really did like Matt Reeves' Batman. So
that's true. No, it's Sophia Falcone. That's she. I'll just say she makes me just think stuff about myself that I'm not proud of.
Okay, interesting.
That's all.
No clue what you're talking about.
Hey, if you've seen the show, you get it. If you know, you know.
But yeah, I had a great time, Jay. Thanks for making some time to see Wild Robot with me.
Always, man. And next week, Conclave. Really excited for Conclave. But, no, I'm gonna go. Let's see, what time is it? I'm gonna until my bedtime at around 10 o'clock. I'm gonna go watch my Pathetic Saints. Try to remain competitive.
I'll definitely be either watching Shogun or playing Metaphor. So I'm looking forward to tonight.
Either way, you're about to experience peak.
I'm gonna have some fun.
You're gonna have some fun.
Yeah.
No, but thanks, guys.
Yeah. Peace out, guys. Have a good one.
Peace.
Next time.